Hello, my juicy peaches. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Priestess Peaches, aka Jackie Lane from yourpeachylife.com. And in this video, I want to speak about slow, soft, and still sex. And yeah, I'm just gonna be honest with you and share my experience with this because it has truly revolutionized my lovemaking, my sex life, my relationship with my sexual self, my relationship with my man and his lingam, and my pleasure potential and my orgasmic potential. So in this society, as we know, we have this idea, this preconceived notion. Well, it's not just a preconceived notion, it's been kind of projected to us through the media, through porn, through advertising, through TV, all of that, through the movies, this certain way that sex is supposed to look and supposed to be, and how we're supposed to behave during sex, and what that looks like. We have been shown a very limited perception, a very limited way of expressing ourselves sexually. That's just one way. There's nothing wrong with that way that we see in porn and in the movies, where it's like goal orientated, means to an end, there's an agenda, it's very much performance based, it's friction and excitement, right? That's generally what we've been shown, and usually it leads to like a peak type orgasm and ejaculation for a man. That's what we've been shown is sex, right? But there is a whole other world of sexual experience for you to explore. And the problem is, with that kind of sex, it is masculine energy driven. Masculine energy is very forward moving. It is like goal orientated, is that forward moving energy. And there is such a thing as masculine and feminine energy. And I am going to do a separate video on this because I know that there are like some sex guru types who don't understand masculine and feminine energy and have clearly not really experienced it, which I find quite shocking, to be honest, because it's definitely something that I've experienced. And yeah, I'm going to do a whole other video about that. But here we go. So the normal approach to sex that we've seen in the media is this masculine energy driven sex. And the problem with that is, over time for a woman, it's if you don't balance that with feminine sexual energy, which is the complete opposite of masculine, if you don't balance your sexual play, your sexual interactions with feminine energy, then it can lead to a woman becoming shut down sexually. It will limit your pleasure. You may experience pain, numbness, tension, constriction. It can cause all kinds of emotional issues as well, and a lack of libido, lack of sexual desire. It can cause a woman's yoni to turn off to her partner. So I work with ambitious women in long-term relationships, and what I know through my own personal experience and through what is commonly known now is that in most long-term relationships, people's sex lives just dry up, right? And it fizzles out, and that passion and that chemistry and that magnetism just fizzles out. And yes, you're left with companionship and love and intimacy and familiarity, but the eroticism and the sexual desire just disappears. And it doesn't have to be like that. The reason that that is happening is because of the type of sex that is habitually performed and experienced between the couple. it's just one type of sexual expression usually, and it doesn't include, it's not inclusive of sexual healing, it's not inclusive of feminine energy, and it's not inclusive of sex magic, right? These are all things that I teach. So, okay, here's what happened for me. I experienced sexual shutdown and with my man, and it was really, really challenging. I was thinking, oh, maybe we're not meant to be together anymore, and maybe I'm like, maybe this is it. Maybe I'm always going to experience pain. Maybe I'm always going to, like, maybe this is it. Maybe that's my future. And I wasn't going to stand for that within myself, because I already knew about Tantra. I'd already had sexual experiences in my life that were very expansive, however, they were drug fueled. And basically, I just knew that there was more to sex than I was allowing in my life. And I knew that there has to be a way to heal myself. And so I embarked on this sexual journey of sexual empowerment. And so back to the topic of slow, soft, still sex, okay? This is something that my partner and I learnt in a course that we did together. And so we decided to bring this into our sexual space and give this a try. So basically, what you do is, once your man is inside you, by the way, there's all kinds of things that must happen before he penetrates you so that you are open and receptive. But for me personally, I didn't really experience that full body yes yet at this point. However, we wanted to try this experience. So he penetrated me, and then what you do is you just stay in stillness, and you allow his lingam to go soft inside you. And it might go hard again, it might go soft again, hard again, soft again, and you just breathe together. You just stay in this like energy exchange, you stay in this connected space. And I guess this is going to be a bit of a story time, and I really hope that Rory's okay with me sharing this. But for me, what happened when we allowed there to be stillness, when we took away agenda, when we took away goal, when we took away performance, when we took it all away and we were just being together in union without doing anything, without taking any action, just being in this open, vulnerable, intimate space together, something miraculous, why can't I say that word? I can't English today. Something magical started to happen. And it didn't happen the first time. The first time it was like strange, it was quite strange doing that. Like, it's not what you would normally do. And so, yeah, like there was some awkwardness, there was some giggling, there was some, it was different and new, and that was kind of exciting, to be honest, because it brings that element of adventure back into the relationship when you're trying something new like that. The first time, like, nothing really happened, to be honest, and we just did this practice just for a short amount of time, and then we didn't move into any other, we didn't move into sex or any other practice or anything like that. We just left it. And this was really allowing my yoni to start trusting me again, and to start trusting my partner again, because we had only been experiencing this masculine energy in the bedroom, this forward-moving, goal-orientated type sex. It had shut down my desire. It had shut me down, because that's not how a woman's body works. We don't function in the same way, to always have it hot, excited, friction, to always have that, can really limit a woman's pleasure. And it's too much for your feminine body, like your most, feminine area of your body. It's your most receptive feminine space within you. And so it's full of feminine energy. And so to be putting that much masculine energy in there all the time and not balancing that, it's going to cause issues. So for me, what happened was, so we did this practice a couple of times, and then one time that we did this, we weren't planning to do it, but we had done tantric massage. We'd been massaging each other. He gave me a yoni massage, and I was open, and I was like, yes, I wanted him inside me. And so we moved into that space, and I just knew to go into stillness. I knew that's what my body wanted. Like, my yoni wanted to be in stillness and no friction. And I just said, can we just be like, I just want to be still for a moment. It would feel really good if we were still for a moment. And so we were still. And because basically what had been happening is, when he would penetrate me and be inside me, I would feel discomfort, and I would feel this kind of like scratchy, itchy feeling. Like, it would feel uncomfortable, and it would feel like a bit stingy. These were like all the symptoms I was having. These are symptoms of sexual shutdown for a woman. These are symptoms of too much masculine energy, okay? Where it's uncomfortable, where it feels painful, where it's like stingy. And I know so many women who say to me that they feel like their yonis are allergic to their men's lingam. And it doesn't have to be like that. So anyway, we went into stillness, and I could feel for the first time this conversation happening between my yoni and his lingam. And it was this communication, like an energetic communication going on. Like, I could sense my yoni sussing him out. Like, I could feel it happening. It was like my yoni was like tiny subtle ripples around his lingam, just like sussing him out, like feeling him out. Like, do I really want you here? Like, who are you really? And what happened was my yoni recognized Rory's lingam, like, but it felt like for the first time that my yoni truly recognized him. It was like my yoni saw Rory's soul through his lingam inside me. It's like I saw his soul inside me. Like, it's the strangest, I can't explain it, but it was like a recognition, like a soul recognition. It was like my yoni recognized him on this deep level, this deep, like, spiritual level and energetic level. And suddenly, we weren't even doing anything. She just started to pulsate and throb and like draw him in and like desire him and invite him in. I just felt my yoni like saying, yes, like, you are invited, you are welcome in here. Yes, I know you, and I love you, and you are welcome here. And literally my yoni just filled up with pleasure, and it was like a full body yes. Okay, and I had never truly experienced that before in my whole life. Took me to in my 30s to experience this. And even though in the past I'd been really, really horny and stuff, and like, I had been like horny in a different way, this was more of like a love vibration. This was more of a soul connection than like horniness. It was more, it was deeper than that. And in the past, I've experienced the lust, right? You experience lust when you're first with someone. You have that like lustful feelings about them. And I've had past relationships where I've been besotted and lustful, you know, and like it's, how do I explain this? And I've been horny from that space of lust and like hungry kind of thing. This was like that, but so much better, because it was like, with that was this, like I said, this soul recognition and this feeling of invitation and welcoming. And it just opened me up. And obviously we had amazing sex. And this is something that we bring into our sexual play now, when we're getting excited and there's lots of fire and excitation, we then bring it back down with like stillness and slow movements, subtle movements, and allow for Rory to go soft, erect, and it just brings this whole other dimension to lovemaking. And what happens is you become more and more attuned to subtle energies and subtle sensations, like both of you do. Because if you think about it, when you, let's just say, if you rub part of your body for a while, it kind of loses sensation, right? If you're just like rub, you kind of lose sensation. Whereas if you're very gentle and slow and purposeful and like gentle with it, I said gentle, but you get what I mean, then you actually experience more sensation, but it's just different. It's a different kind of sensation. And so it's really good to either start off that way during lovemaking and build it up to the fire, or go from the fire to the water, the fire to the water, or just try the slow sex and the still sex and the soft sex, because it's still sex, okay? Just because you're not pumping away doesn't mean that you're not having sex. Like, it's still sex. It's just that we've been conditioned to think that sex has to look a certain way and has to be a certain way. And it's so not true, because when you think like that, you then perform to meet that standard, to meet that goal, to meet what you think is supposed to happen. But if you can just let go of everything you think you know and just come into a space of exploration with yourself and with your partner, you will find that there is a whole universe of pleasure to explore. And for me personally, after a lifetime of imbalanced masculine energy in my life and toxic masculine energy in my life, which I used to attract into my life, and I used to seek it, to be honest, I really needed a long time with just Shakti sexual energy flow, just feminine sexual energy flow. I needed a long time of gentle, slow, listening to my body, no agenda, no goal, loving, caring sex, to start to reignite my inner fire, because I've been so imbalanced in the masculine energy that I needed to kind of bring in the feminine in a big way to then reignite my own masculine energy. So now there's this balance, and now I am pleasureful and blissful. My yoni is so full of pleasure, and honestly, I feel so blessed and I feel so happy. and relieved that I didn't give up and that I didn't settle. Because so many women settle and become apathetic. 2 seconds. Yeah, so many women just settle for these limited experiences, and then they become apathetic around sex. And that is what I feel very sad about, that there's sexual apathy and sexual starvation and pleasure starvation in this world. And it's because people don't know the truth about sex, because we haven't been shown it in the mainstream media. We don't get taught it in schools. Where are we supposed to find out about these things? And most people are too freaking busy to even give a damn. And so, you know, relationships end up failing, marriages end up divorcing, people end up feeling like they're broken and there's something wrong with them when there isn't. It's just because there's this whole other world of sex that you haven't been shown. And these type of practices that I'm speaking about are so deeply healing. I'm not going to go into the sex magic of things, but it's so deeply healing. And when your yoni learns to trust you again, like, you have to listen. If you have pain, if you have numbness, if you have discomfort, if you have emotional things come up, if you have resistance, if you have low libido, lack of sexual desire, there's a freaking reason for that. You're not broken. Your body's trying to tell you something, and you don't have to push on through. You don't have to just do it. You don't have to have more and more stimulation just to get off. You don't have to shut down completely. There are ways that you can reawaken your yoni and your sexual self. There are ways that you can truly love yourself. Like, this is true self-love. I was chatting with one of my friends yesterday about this because we were speaking about, like, there's such a big difference between masturbation and like true self-love pleasure practice and making love with yourself. Like, there's such a big difference. And so many women, they're so in their masculine energy. We've been so conditioned that even when women are self-pleasuring, they're in their masculine energy, just wanting a quick fix. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, because that is brilliant, okay? That is great. Like, hell yes, we want to have the quick fixes. We want to have the goal orientation. We want to have that as well. But what I'm saying is that most of the time, that's all women have. And because that's all women experience, it's no wonder that she shuts down. It's no wonder that she has female reproductive issues. It's no wonder that she has emotional issues. Like, when we don't gift ourselves time, so like the feminine energy needs time, requires time, and the masculine energy requires energetic space. So when you actually think about that this works with communicating with your man to inspire his empowered masculine energy. I've got other videos on that. This also works sexually. It means that when you gift yourself time and you gift him energetic space by coming into slow, still, soft sex with each other, and like you start to activate what's called relaxed arousal. And rather than you pushing and forcing yourself to be horny and pushing and forcing yourself to feel whatever you think you're supposed to feel, there's this like organic, natural, pure, raw, energetic magnetism that happens without doing anything, okay, between your yoni and his lingam. It creates this magnetism because of your like polarity. It's just natural. It's innate within you both. Like, you don't have to do anything for that to be there. That this gets lost because we try to force it to happen. And so when you come out of that active space and you come into this space of invitation, it ultimately leads to receptivity and experience. And that is when you get to enjoy like your full pleasure potential and the bliss that is within your body, not even just your yoni. Like your yoni, yes, start there, but this really does overflow to your entire body and way of being in the world. So I just wanted to share this because people don't know about slow, soft, still sex. People don't know about it. People would think that is so boring, that is so awkward, why would I want to do that? But if you just let go of everything you think you know and just be curious and patient, and you just practice the practices, right? You just practice the practices. They work. This is like ancient wisdom that has been passed down through the tantric masters, and it's sacred sexuality, it's expansive sex, it's like beyond what we currently generally know. And so that takes some courage, it takes some vulnerability, it takes some curiosity to actually do that, to actually implement that and try those things. And the thing is, like I said, like for me, it may be that nothing happens the first few times. It may just seem weird, but just stick with it and just be open, because it's beyond like I said, it's a natural occurrence that has to happen, because that is the energy of the universe that is within you. That is the polarity and the magnetism that is within you. It organically activates when you gift yourself time and you gift him energetic space. And the thing is, when you do this, he will experience more pleasure as well. Like, it's not just about you, this is the union of you both. And yeah, like if you are afraid that your man might not be up for this, might not want to do this, then I can assure you there's ways that you can communicate that will inspire him to want to do this with you. And these are all the things that I teach if you work with me privately. That's the best way, because then we can go really deep into what is coming up in your relationship and your sex life and your, obviously, as you know, if you follow me on here or on Facebook, then you know that my signature program is for ambitious women in long-term relationships who want to master their money, their man, and their sex life. So it's all three things. And I'm just so excited. I also have a online course called Reawaken Your Yoni. And this is a 6-week journey that I created and that I took myself on to reawaken my yoni. And it has weekly video content, 2 videos every week, and then you have 3 guided practices every week, and journal exercises. It's a comprehensive 6-week course. It may take you longer than 6 weeks, to be honest. Like when I first went on this journey, I had to gift myself a lot of time because I was healing from sexual trauma. So every time I did a practice, even if it was just yoni breathing, I actually experienced a lot of trauma come up for healing. So for me, the journey was a lot longer than 6 weeks, but I put this into a 6-week process for you. But you can take as long as you like. You have lifetime access to that. So I'll put the link in the description box below for Reawaken Your Yoni. It truly, truly is like one of my babies that I've created and birthed into the world to help women who are sexually shut down, to reawaken their yoni and their sexual selves and reconnect with themselves. And it starts off with like practices that don't involve any physical touch, and then it moves into like self-care practices, and then it moves into pleasure practices. So it's a journey, there's a process that I take you on so that you're not just thrown into the deep end, because there's so many, no offense to, like, I really am not meaning to say anything bad about anyone else's courses, because I just think they're all needed, okay? And people will receive whatever it is they need from those courses. But there's a lot of courses that, you know, promote this kind of like orgasm challenges, like, oh, have however many, like quantity, like however many orgasms you possibly can in the next week. And like, I get it, right? There's something like, there's room for that. But for women who are sexually shut down, you can't just force yourself to orgasm every day. Like, it's just not going to work. And, you know, there's reasons why you feel the way you feel. And it's deep rooted. And if you have the courage to, like, go on this journey, if you have the courage to say yes to your pleasure, if you have the courage to listen to the yearnings within your yoni and what your body is trying to communicate with you, then I really want to invite you to my online course, Reawaken Your Yoni, or to work with me privately. It's completely up to you how you want to go about it. Like, personally for me, I've done a bit of both these things, and I've done in-person workshops and trainings as well. Like, this is my passion. It's what I want to teach in the world. So yeah, that is what I wanted to say about slow, soft, still sex. And it is a thing, and it is amazing. And if you start to bring it into your lovemaking, you will find that your yoni will thank you for it. And when your man sees the results, he's going to want to do that more. Trust me, okay? He'll start to want to honor your body more and more. Because let me just say, men are even more clueless than us. Like, they don't have our bodies. Think about it, right? We are clueless because we've been conditioned as women. Women are clueless, even about their own freaking bodies, because we've been so conditioned and so suppressed and so manipulated. So think about how even more clueless your man is. Like, he doesn't have your body. So don't just expect him to be some sort of sex guru all of a sudden. It doesn't work like that at all. You will need to go on this journey with yourself first. It starts with you, Shakti. That is how this journey starts. And then you can bring this into the relationship from this space of a full plate for sharing. And I can help you to learn how to communicate so that he feels inspired towards you, to please you. And then you both start seeing evidence of how amazing this is, not just sexually, but this is like day-to-day stuff as well. You will start seeing evidence of that, and he will as well, and it will inspire him even more, because he will be winning and winning and winning, and so will you. And so yeah, okay, I am going to go now. This is a very long video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're at the end of this video, I know I can talk and talk, but I hope this was interesting for you. I am feeling called to do a little series of story times, like my own sexual healing story times. I feel very vulnerable to do that, to be honest, and put myself on YouTube talking about my own sexual healing. Like, that is really scary to do that. I don't know who watches my videos, and it's challenging to talk about these things. I'm not going to lie. But I am feeling this calling to share my own experiences, to let other women know what's possible, and just to share, because I feel like the more of us that share our healing experiences, expansive pleasure experiences, like sexual experiences, all of that, like, it opens up all women's minds. It's in the collective. It starts opening women's minds to the possibilities. And I just think that's a really important thing. So if you want me to do a little series of my, like, some story times. I'm thinking maybe like 5 to 10 story times of my sexual healing journey and specific sexual healing experiences that I've had. Let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, then I will know that that's what you want. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, totally up to you. And if you're interested to work with me or have a look at my online courses, I do have like another thing on my website, Yoni Breathing Treasures, which is like a guided audio yoni breathing series, like meditations. They're like practices basically, so they're very, very short. They're no longer than 10 minutes each. I designed them for the busy woman. So just so you can connect with your yoni on a daily basis, and there's 7 guided audios to music. And I really love them and I use them myself, especially if there's been a time where I've just been really, really busy. And I know that for me personally, if I don't connect in with my sexual self, if I don't connect with my yoni, I can start to feel really depleted and burnt out and just like disconnected. And then I start to, like, it's just a downward spiral for me. So it's something that I really love to bring into my life on a daily basis, and I really recommend that you do that too. That's why I created 7 audios, so once you get to the end you can go back to the beginning and you can use them. And honestly, every time you do, you'll probably have new experiences, because your yoni is infinite and this journey is infinite and your pleasure is infinite, and it's always, you're always changing and growing and expanding and developing, and that is why it's timeless. So it's well worth the investment. So yeah, okay, my lovelies. Oh, I started talking again. All right, I love you lots, and I will see you in my next video. Have an amazing day, and remember to keep it juicy. Bye.